Okay, here we go. We are learning today about the spiritual energy of the month of Shvat. Okay, so this is Aquarius, Mazal Tli. If anybody doesn't know, so Judaism does believe in astrology. The source of this is in Sefer Yetzirah, which is attributed to Avram Avinu, and he brought down the secrets of creation down into the world. And the Gemara relates that if you understand the secrets of creation, then you can actually make stuff. And it says that there were Tanaim that they knew the secrets of the energies of the letters, and they were able to make themselves a kaf every Friday, that they would like to have a kaf for their children, and they made themselves a magical kaf. And that's how they were very poor, so they couldn't afford meat for Shabbos. So no problem, they just did their abracadabra. And in fact, when I say abracadabra, it's very interesting. It's very connected to the whole idea of the Sefer Yetzirah, is that for somehow these words got out, because abra is like avra, I will create, kedabra, as I speak, and that's the whole secret of Sefer Yetzirah, and that is that the secret of creation is through speech, and that's because the creation was done through Hashem's utterances, Hashem's asara mamarot, and the utterances are made of letters, and so that it's really the letters which have the energy of creation in them. Okay, so if a person would know how to manipulate the energy of the letters, he would be able to create things, and that's the whole basis of Sefer Yetzirah. So Sefer Yetzirah is about the very basic energies of the creation of the world. So in that context, so the Sefer Yetzirah goes through the different months of the year, and he explains that each month has a certain letter and a certain energy that is connected to it. So that's what we're dealing with today, with the month of Shvat. Obviously, it has to do with Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat is coming up in 1 week, a week from tonight. Okay, which I'm not sure yet if we're going to have a class. Actually, we might have a class. It depends if I go to this wedding in Shvat. I think I'm not going to go. Okay, and she's anyway not listening to this recording, so I'm safe. So, but no, it's okay because I can only I'm still on the Vedas, so I can only go for the chuppah, and to go 8 hours for just the chuppah is, so.
It's a major conference.
Anyway, so that's what we're learning about tonight, and so Tu B'Shvat. So Tu B'Shvat is obviously connected, and we're going to find out how Tu B'Shvat is connected. So we're going to try to analyze the month of Shvat from many different angles. One of them is the number of the month, and we're going to talk about the letter of the month. We're talking about the tribe of the month, and we're talking about the sense of the month. Okay, slowly. So let's start with the letter. The letter of the month of Shvat is the letter Tzadik. Okay. So Tzadik, obviously, like it sounds, has to do with the Tzadik, with the righteous person. Okay. So somebody actually asked me recently that what is the correct pronunciation of the letter Tzadik? Is it Tzadi or is it Tzadik? I remember, like, when I was in grade school, so my teachers claimed that it was really the correct pronunciation is really Tzadi, and people just got confused because the next letter is Kuf. So if you say it very fast, so it sounds like Tzadik Kufresh. So you also heard this?
Yeah.
No, it's not true.
No.
It's not true. Actually, the sources in the Zohar that actually connect, that call the letter Tzadik. They call the letter Tzadik. Okay, and we're going to explain why. Okay, in the sources in the Bavli that says that they write it Tzadik Dalet Yud, but in the Zohar it's written Tzadik with a Kuf at the end, so it's part of the letter. Okay, so it's a real thing it's connected to the Tzadik, and so what do we know about the letter Tzadik? So first of all, that if you look at the letter Tzadik, it's a Nun and a Yud. How do you know that? Okay, so the letter Tzadik is a Nun and a Yud. Okay, let me show you. Anybody have a paper? Anybody have an extra paper? This works. Okay. Do you have a pen that works? This isn't good. Here.
This one works very well.
Okay.
Or maybe the material.
Yeah, I think the material is the problem. Okay. Okay, so this is. No, I don't know if you can see it. Right?
Do you have crowns? Or
Do you have?
only
Yeah, tzaddik has a crown. Okay.
So wouldn't that be a Zion instead of a Yud? Or do you have?
No, the crown is relevant to the nature of the letter. So this is the nun, and this is a yud. Okay. Now, in fact, so what's interesting is, and I'll explain this in a moment, that according to the Ari, there's a different way. Actually, could I use your paper? According to the Ari, there's a different way to write the letter tzaddik, and that is that the yud is backwards. Okay. So this is. So this is the way that a tzaddik is written according to the Ari. See? So you see that this is a backwards yod. Okay? And according to the Beis Yosef, so it's like this. This is the Beis Yosef yod with the proper yod, and this is the backwards yod. Okay, so this is the two ways to write this out. Okay, so that the difference is in the yud. Okay, the difference is in that. What is the relationship between the yud and the nun? So what is the yud represent, and what does the nun represent? Okay, and this is really. I'm starting with this. This is really the essence of the month. The essence of the month of Shvat is about what is the relationship between the yud and the nun, and so this is actually the first Torah in. Thank you. The first Torah in Likutei Moharan. The first Torah that Rabbi Nachman ever shared is to describe the relationship between the yod and the nun, because yod represents chokhmah. Okay, yod in Kabbalah always represents chokhmah. In the name of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. So the first yod represents chokhmah, and then the hey is bina, and then the vav is the six midot after that, and then the hey is malchus. So that yod always represents chokhmah. It's also Rashi says in Az Yashir that Yud al Shem HaMachshava. Yud al Shem HaMachshava. And the idea is that in grammar, so when you use a Yud, so what does that do? It puts it into future tense. Right? Amar is he said. Yomar is he will say. Okay? So putting a Yud in front of something is putting it into future tense. And when something is in future tense, so what's really happening? It's in thought. It's in the planning stage. Okay, so Yud is machshava. So Yud represents. So that's why Yud represents Chachma. Also, what's a Yud? A Yud is a Nisan, I think. Yud is also one of the months is about Yud. I believe it's Nisan. So no. Hey is Nisan. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. The Yud is really a dat. Really, in the essence of a Yud is really just a dat. So really every letter is just a bunch of Yud. Now you buy it? Yeah? It's really it's just that every letter is just made of a bunch of Yuds put together. Obviously there's lines connecting the dots. Not everything is blotches. But really the Yud, that you can't make any letter without a Yud. Okay, every single letter starts with a Yud, and it's elongated in some way or another, but every letter starts with a Yud. So because everything in the world is based on machshavas, is based on thoughts. Every object in the world is really the actualization of a bunch of thoughts that went into the process of making this thing. Okay, so that's why Yud is called the machshava. So Rabbi Nachman explains that nun, what does nun represent? So he brings a pasuk that says that Yinon Shema, that the word Yinon is a reference to Malchut. The word Yinon, it's a boy's name. Some Sephardim use this name, Yinon. I don't know, there's the rabbi in Givat Shaul called Yinon. It's a Sephardi name, but the word Yinon literally has a connotation of Malchut, of kingship. Okay, so the word Nun has to do with kingship, with Malchut. Okay, Nun also, by the way, has to do with fish. Nunei Yama. It's called as a reference in Aramaic. In Aramaic, Nunei Yama is the fish of the sea. So, a different time we'll talk about what's the connection between fish and Malchus. But I guess if a king wants to be vegetarian, so Nun represents Malchus. Nun represents Malchus. What does Malchus represent? Malchus represents the actualization. Okay, Malchus in Kabbalah always represents that making something real. Okay, making something actual, having it like physically present in the world. That's what Malchut is all about. That there's all of the 6 energies that come before that, really 9 energies that come before that. That's all in the planning stages, and then the Malchut is what actualizes it, what makes it real. Okay, so that's why in the elements, so earth is representing Malchut. Okay, it's what everything is. It's what gives everything grounding. What makes everything able to exist. So before ground, if there's no ground, so then everything is just falling. Everything is just going endlessly and aimlessly. And it's having the ground. It's having this grounding that makes everything able to exist. Okay, so Malchut represents the actualization of everything. So what is the Yud and the Nun coming together? What does that represent? So this is to taking these ideas, taking these sparks of inspiration, and being able to implement them. Okay, that you can have a lot of people that they're great at getting things done. It's just they don't know what they should do. So they're awesome at being event planners, but they're planning events for the wrong team, and they know how to do amazing raves and amazing whatever kind of gatherings that they make, but when it comes to gathering hakel, gathering people for Hashem, so there's something like no, that's not, they aren't there, and you have people that they have great ideas, but they just don't know how to get things done. Okay, so you need to connect between the Chachma, between the Yud and the Nun, and that's in the Tzaddik. Okay, so that's the Tzaddik. The Tzaddik is, you can to be a Tzaddik. It's not enough to have good ideas, right? You have to also do good things, right? You don't get Tzaddik points. You don't get Tzaddik. I mean, you get A for effort. I mean, everything counts. But you're not considered a Tzaddik just because you know what you should be doing. Once again, it's awesome. It's awesome to know what you should be doing, but you're not a tzaddik unless you A, know what you should be doing, and B, you do it.
So
Okay?
C, the right attitude.
What's the right attitude?
As in, like, you can do something, but like be upset about it. I'm just wondering if that comes down also with the letters somehow. Like, you can do something, but like you're like hate Hashem anyways. Like you can.
So you're absolutely right, but that's where the emotions come in. That's where your heart is. There's a different Torah from the Arizal that he calls this the idea of melech, and in that it's a different model. But you are correct. That if you are doing all the right things, but it makes you hate God, so then you're not the biggest tzaddik. Agreed. Okay. Chaim to that. So this is the first thing about the tzaddik is that he knows how to connect between the ideas, the chachma, the truth. The chachma it's not about thinking, it's about connecting to truth. It's about being connected to the right direction, being able to connect to God's wisdom, and being able to implement that. Okay, and that's the yud. Okay, and now, so in the tzaddik, so the Arizal is telling us that there's two ways of connecting between the Yud and the Nun, and it could be that they are face to face, and it could be that they're back to back. Okay, that sometimes the Yud is going to be backwards. Okay, and that sometimes the problem in being a tzaddik is oftentimes in how to make peace. A person could have the wisdom and have the keys, the tools to implement things, and the problem is how to get them to talk to each other, how to be able to get them to be able to communicate, to be able to have that they're in a situation of face to face, because you could have a Yud and a Nun that are just like, they're both here, but they're just not on speaking terms. Okay, that my brain doesn't want to speak to my abilities to actualize, and I could do it. I have the abilities to actualize, and I have all the right ideas. It's just that there's no flow. Okay, and so making this flow, that is turning around the Yud. They should be able to be on speaking terms, is really what being a tzaddik is all about. Now, the word tzaddik is connected in the Hebrew word of sayad, of latzud. Anybody know what it means, latzud? To hunt. Nice. So a tzaddik is a hunter. Tzaddik is a hunter. Who's he hunting? He's hunting souls. Okay? Yes. Yes, you're being hunted. You're being hunted. So, oh wow! I just met a boy named Hunter. So I have to tell her. I have to explain to him that he's the tzaddik. He's the
Should have it as a name in Yiddishkeit, no?
Hmm?
Shouldn't we have that as a name in Yiddishkeit? Is that not someone's like a name?
I mean, it's for sure a nickname.
Right. Oh.
Like all my kids are called tzaddik. How was your day, tzaddik? Yeah, it doesn't. Like I don't know. How's your day, Hunter? Doesn't sound as nice.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Sadok is a name. That's a good point. Yeah. So a tzaddik is a hunter. Okay, and his job is to hunt souls. Okay. Now, where does that come in? It sounds a little bit aggressive. Yeah? What?
It's just weird.
Weird?
It's strange. You would think a tzaddik, he's hunting Hashem, like he's...
Yeah, so a tzaddik that's just hunting Hashem, he's not such a tzaddik. He's not such a tzaddik. If you're just hunting Hashem, you got it. So a real tzaddik doesn't keep the wealth to himself. He shares the wealth, and he wants to get everybody on board. Okay, and this is why tzaddik, what's the numerical value of tzaddik is 90. So 90 is an extension of 9, obviously, and so the 9th sphera from the top is what's called yesod. Okay, and that's why it says tzaddik yesod olam. Okay, now you just didn't say it because you don't have a microphone. Tzaddik yesod olam. Tzaddik is the yesod. Tzaddik is the foundation of the world. Tzaddik is so he's connected to yesod. Yesod in Kabbalah is about connections. Okay, yesod and connection is about connections. It's about making the tzaddik is all about connecting. Tzaddik is about connecting people to each other, connecting people to Hashem, connecting people to themselves. Okay, it's all about connections. Okay? That the tzaddik sees a world of pirud, a world of disconnect, a world of everything just being random, and he wants everything to be connected. This is Shabbos. It says that the Talmid Chacham is connected to Shabbos, and Shabbos is Rosa de Shabbos, Shabbos disachtus berosa de echad. That Shabbos is about unity. Okay? And Shabbos is about the unity of the universe. And Shabbos is the time that everything is connected, that everything that seems to be disconnected, everything that seems to be random, so we find the missing piece. We find this like this, the centerpiece that makes everything, make sense. Okay, that's Shabbos. That's the seventh day. I was just explaining this to somebody that her name is Elisheva. That Elisheva is God is my seven, because Hashem is the seventh piece. That you have six directions. You have six directions of expansion. You have up, down, north, west, east, west, north, south, east, west, and you have four different directions of expansion, and then having the center makes everything connected. So God is that center. God is that one piece that when you have a center, then everything is really connected, and it's not just going randomly. So this is the tzaddik. The tzaddik, he wants to connect everything, because when everything is connected, so that is the tikkun. When everything is separate, when everything is just random, that's chaos. Chaos is the opposite of tikkun. Okay? Chaos is when everything is destruction, there's chaos. When everything is connected, then there is tikkun. Speaking of the tzaddik. Okay. So tzaddikim, they like to bring people together. They like to bring the entire universe together, and that is what the tzaddik is all about. That's why he's a hunter. Shlomo is a hunter, and this is why the tzaddik is connected to the geula. Okay, and this is a very, very beautiful Torah that from the Arizal, that he writes that the it's two, yeah, we will see. Okay, no, I think it's still a little bit cold. But that the Arizal writes that there's 5 letters that have to do with geula, and these are the letters that have 2 forms. Okay, there's 5 letters that have 2 forms, meaning a regular letter and a sofit letter. Okay, menatzpach, mem, nun, tzadik, pei, chaf. Okay, menatzpach is the 5 letters that also have 2 different ways to write them. That they have when they're in the middle of a letter, and when they're at the end of middle of a word or beginning of a word, as opposed to the end of a word. Okay, so these letters are the letters that are connected to the geula. So there's a pasuk that says, "Miknaf haaretz zmiros shamanu, tzvi latzadik." Okay, miknaf haaretz, from the corners of the world, we have heard zmirot, we have heard songs. For songs of redemption. Tzvi latzadik, but there is a special, tzvi means a special request. There is a yearning for the tzaddik. Okay, so the Rizal explains, what does it mean, miknaf haaretz zmiros shamanu, that there's 4 redemptions that we've already heard. We've already shamanu, with like those things we've been there, done that. Okay, and that's miknaf. What's miknaf? Mem, chaf, nun, pei. What's mem, chaf, nun, pei? So he says that Avraham Avinu was saved with lech lecha. Lech lecha is the chaf. Yitzchak Avinu was saved with mem. It says lech me'imanu ki atzamta mimanu ma'od. Okay, it uses the letter mem of referring to Yitzchak's success. Nun is with Yaakov, because it says Hatzileni na miyad achi miyad Esav. So he uses the letter Nun twice in reference to Yaakov's Hatzalah from Esav. And when we were redeemed from Egypt, so it says Pakod Yifkod Elokim Etchem, and the letter Pei is used for Mitzias Mitzrayim. Okay, and so that's Miknaf Haaretz Zmiros Shamanu. For those redemptions, the redemptions of Mem, Chaf, Nun, Pei, we've heard already. Tzvi l'tzadik. So the tzaddik, that's going to be the Mashiach, and that's why it says by Mashiach that ish tzemach shmoi b'yamav titzmach. It calls him ish tzemach, a person, a man of sprouting. Okay, and that's a reference to that's how Yeshayahu Navi refers to the Mashiach. So the Mashiach is called the tzaddik. Okay, and the tzaddik he's the one that's going to redeem the world, and he's the one that's going to unify the world. Okay, so that's why
And it's linked with which letter? The sun?
tzaddik.
Oh,
Mashiach is the tzaddik.
But like in the Mitzvah, you mentioned it's tzaddik?
Yes,
Okay.
tzaddik sofit. There's two. There's tzaddik,
Okay.
regular tzaddik, and tzaddik sofit. Okay, so the fact that it has two forms is is a hint to the fact that the tzaddik is an expression of redemption. Okay, you might be familiar that on Hoshana Rabbah, so we have a custom to take. It's an ancient custom. It's one of the most ancient customs we have. It's from the times of the Nevi'im, that we take the 5 aravot. We take 5 aravot and we hit it on the ground 5 times. And what do we say? Kol mevaser mevaser ve'omer. Kol mevaser mevaser ve'omer. Okay, this is a reference to the Mashiach coming. Why do we do it 5 times? Why do we take 5 aravos with five times? We hit it on the ground because there's 5. What? Because 5 minatzpach. Because of these 5 letters. Because these 5 letters of Geula. So these are the 5 ways that we're bringing down, bringing down into the Aretz, into the Malchus, that the energy of Geula. Okay, so this is the energy. This is the energy of the tzaddik. That is to take the nun, take the yud, to take all the wisdom, take all the ar, and to bring able to actualize it. And by doing so, this is what unites the world. This is what brings unity in the world. And what brings unity in the world, that's what brings Geula, redemption, into the world. Okay, so this is the first step. Okay, the first step is to be able to connect between the Yud and the Nun, to be able to be connected to Yud, to be able to realize that there's a wisdom that I need to connect with, to be looking up to a higher source of wisdom. That's what it means to be connected to the Yud, and not to stop there, but to want to actualize it. Okay, and there's one of the problems is when people start doing stuff, so then they start thinking that they know. And the trick of being a tzaddik is to be able to do stuff, to be able to actualize things, but constantly be looking back to the Yud, constantly be looking back to the greatest word, the greatest level that the Torah sage can reach is to be called a Talmid Chacham. Talmid Chacham means a smart student. When you've made it in life, then you're considered a smart student. Okay, meaning that the greatest rabbi alive, so he's wise because he realizes that he's still a student. He realizes that he's still looking. He realizes that he's still his eyes are always towards the Chachma. Okay, and he doesn't think that I've got it. Okay, the moment that you think you've got it, so then you're disconnecting from the Yud, and then you're hopeless. Then you're very far from being the tzaddik. Okay, so this is the first energy of the month. The month of Shvat is about taking this idea and bringing it down, actualizing. Okay. Now, what is the tribe? What is the tribe of the month? The tribe of the month is Asher. Asher ben Yaakov. And so the truth is we don't know so much about Asher. We have some hints to the nature of Asher from the brachot, that they get. There's the brachos in Parshas Vayechi and the brachot in Parshat V'zot HaBracha. So it says that me'asher shmeina lachma v'hu yitein madani melech. Okay, that Asher, that he has a very fat bread, and he will give the ma'adanim of the king. Okay, so it talks about food. It talks about food regarding Asher, that he has the best food, and it says that Baruch mi banim Asher. It says that he has the best kids. Chazal understand that he has not the pasuk. I forgot where it says that he has the most beautiful looking people, like the best looking people are from the tribe of Asher. And the people that we know about Asher are, we only know two people. Only two people in the whole Tanakh are memorable, are noteworthy from the tribe of Asher. One of them is his daughter, Sarach bat Asher, and the other one is Amos Hanavi. Okay, that he was from the tribe of Asher. Okay, but really, besides this, Asher doesn't get such a good spotlight in Tanakh. So what do we know about Sarach bas Asher? So Sarach bas Asher was a very, very righteous woman. And the first time that we find her, the first time that we find
She's the lady who married Joseph Bones.
almost, she was the one. First of all, she was the one that she told Yaakov that Yosef was still alive. Okay, she was the one that was, according to one midrash, that she was playing with her harp, and she was playing a song. And sometimes in some schools they have arts and crafts with the Sarach bas Asher with her harp, and they do it with a violin because it's called a kinar. Okay, but really a kinar is a harp. So anyway, but Sarach bas Asher, so she was telling Yaakov Avinu, Od Yosef Chai. Okay, that was her job. So the truth is that this was a source of trouble, because when the brothers sold Yosef, so they swore to each other that they would never tell anybody that he sold him. They would never tell anybody that he was still alive. So when Sarach bas Asher started telling Yaakov, so they were sure that Asher had spilled the beans and told his daughter what happened, that he had really sold him. The truth is that she was such a righteous woman, such a righteous girl, that she had prophecy, even though she was a young girl. And she knew from prophecy that this was actually true. But they didn't believe him. They didn't believe him that he didn't tell her. And they didn't believe that she was so righteous. And they actually put him in excommunication. And later in history, so he says, so Yaakov says, Yehi ratzoi achav, that I bless him that his brothers should accept him back. But that's a reference to the fact that he got in trouble, not appropriately, because they thought that he had spilled the beans about the fact that Yosef was still alive. So this was the first time that she comes. The first time that we see her is telling Yaakov Avinu that Yosef is still alive. Okay, and the second time is that she lived very, very long. She lived very, very long time, and she was one of the people that came out of Egypt. She came into Egypt and she came out of Egypt. That means that she was over for sure more than 200 years. I don't remember if it's 400 years. I don't remember when the 400 years is counting from. No, they were slaves for 210 years. I think 210. No, 210 years they were slaves. She came way before they were slaves. She came when Yaakov came down. So she was very, very old, many hundreds of years old, and so when Moshe Rabbeinu came to save the Jews, so at first it says that they didn't believe him, okay, and then at some point it says that they believed him. So what changed? So the Chazal explained that what changed is that there was a very old lady, very old righteous lady named Sarach bas Asher, and she was the one that said, oh, that he's for sure legit. He's for sure legit, because we said that what was the words of the Geula of Mitzrayim? Pakod yifkod Elokim etchem. So she had a tradition from her father. The Asher had told her this, that when there's going to be a redeemer that's going to say that he's going to save you from Egypt, so the test is going to be if he says the words Pakod Pakati Evschem, he uses the word Pekidah, then that's the sign that he's the right redeemer. That's the sign that he is legit.
What does Pekidah mean?
Is to remember, like it says by Sarah, Hashem Pakadat Sarah. To remember with mercy is called Pekidah. So Asher gave this tradition to Sarah, his daughter, that when there's going to be a redeemer that's going to say Pakod Pakati Eschem, that's that's the source. That's the sign that he is the legitimate redeemer. Okay, so Sarach Bas Asher. So we find that what is her job? What is her job? So first of all, is to giving life to Yaakov. It says that when Yaakov heard that his son was still alive, it brought his life. Like, the problem was that they were scared that he was going to have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
They were scared that when he would see Yosef, he would just lose it. So they needed like a gentle way to break it to him. So Sarach Bas Asher, she was that gentle way of bringing this amazing, amazing good news, this amazing Besorah that is too good to be true. So she was the one that was able to bring it down in a way that was palatable. Okay, and so she's bringing this energy of bringing down this amazing, amazing good news into a way that's able to accept it and able to retain it. So that was the job of Sarach Bas Asher. And later, so she was the one that was able to bring down the amazing good news that we're going to be redeemed from Egypt to a people that wouldn't accept it, that they were just like, they wouldn't hear of it. Like, come on, you're talking nonsense. So she was the one that was able to bring down the Besorah, this Chokhmah, this amazing goodness, this amazing idea. She was the one that was able to implement it into. She was the one that was able to convince the people to connect to this amazing truth. And that's the job of the tzaddik. Okay, so Sarach Bas Asher, she really represents this idea of the tzaddik, that bringing the yud into the nun, being able to bring people together. Okay. Now, the energy, the sense of the month of Shvat. So it says a very interesting thing, that the sense, the 12 senses, so to speak, but not all of them are really like senses in the sense, like in the sense of the 5 senses. One of them is actually like touch, and one of them is hearing, one of them is seeing, one of them is hearing, but they also include things that we don't look at the senses. One of them we said last. One of them was getting angry. One of them is sleep. One of them is laughter, and so that's next month is laughter, and so the sense of the month of Shvat is eating. It's about eating. Okay, so the tikkun of the month of Shvat is how to eat properly, how to appreciate eating, how to overcome all of our eating disorders, and the idea of eating as being a holy act. And so this is obviously where the month of Shvat connects to Tu B'Shvat, because on Tu B'Shvat, what do? We eat all of the fruits of the tree, and by doing so we're somehow connecting to fixing the sin of the Eitz Hadat. Okay, by appreciating trees in the proper way, and by taking the fruits of the tree in a holy way, so we're fixing the sin of taking from the tree in the improper way. So what's fascinating is that the word that the Sefer Tzir uses when referring to eating is not the regular word. What's the regular word for eating? Achila. Okay? So the word that he uses in Sefer Tzir is not that. The word is li'ita. Li'ita. Lamed ayin yud tet hey. So what's interesting is that we only find this word li'ita, we only find it in 2 places in Tanakh. Number 1 is by Esav. He says, Hal iteni na min ha'adam adam hazeh, that feed me this red stuff. And the other time is a pasuk in Tehillim. It says Haliteu l'rasha v'yamot, that referring to eat bad stuff. Feed bad stuff to the wicked people, and they will die.
Wow.
So this is actually a term which is used in halacha sometimes, that regarding that how much responsibility do we have to stop people that just want to do bad things. Like, do we have a responsibility to bend over backwards to stop people from doing the wrong thing? And the Chazal say that like if you're looking for trouble, so then like we don't like go for it. Like we don't like it'll. It's only good. Like you'll make enough mistakes until you just disappear. Okay, so but it's referring to bad people. Okay, it's a bad kind of eating. So what's the difference between ochel and leita? Okay, so the Shem Shmuel says a very interesting thing, and that is that the word ochel, also besides eating, so it really has a connotation of consuming. Okay, like for example, by the burning bush, it says "V'hinei hasnar bo'er ba'esh v'hasnar inenu ukal," that the bush was unflamed, but it didn't become consumed. Okay, so the word ochel is mean to become when something is burned by fire, so it's consumed by the fire. Okay, when we eat a food, we are consuming the food. Okay, so that's why achila comes from the word kol, to include. Kolel means to include. So when I'm eating something, I'm including it in me. It's becoming a part of me. Okay, just like a fire. So whatever you put into fire becomes fire. So whatever I eat becomes me. Okay, and this is why one of the reasons why it's important to eat particular foods and not eat other particular foods is because there's different energies in the things that we eat. And if you eat something with bad character traits, for example, it's going to affect you. If you eat holy things, it's going to affect you in a positive way. So you are what you eat, and we are affected by the things that we eat. We're affected by the energies of the things we eat, and we absorb these energies. So that's why that achila. Achila is more a reference to the digestive system. So what's le'ita? Le'ita is a reference to the act of eating in and of itself. Even when I'm not about what I'm becoming, but le'ita is about experiencing the act of eating. So le'ita is more talking about my experience of eating, not my nutrition value. Okay, I mean we're dividing the eating process into how it affects my psychology, how it affects my taste buds, how it affects the experience of eating. Like in other words, that if I could just like when a person is having an IV, so they get all the nutrients that they need, but that's only achila. There is no le'ita. Okay, and so Shvat, the energy of Shvat is not about the digestive process, it's about relating to the experience of eating. Okay? So Rav Ginsburg, so he notes that in the Achila process, so there's three things. There's three ways that we relate to eating, and he explains that all these three things were affected by the sin of the tree of knowledge, by the sin of Eitz Hadat. Okay, number one is the concept of sfi'ah. Okay, of feeling content, feeling full. Okay. Number two is the ta'anug, is the feeling of enjoyment, like the pleasure of eating. Okay. And number three is givun, is the selection, the variety. Okay, so explains that these are related to the difference between Adam and Chava and the Nachash. But for our purposes, so what does this mean? That first of all, sova. Okay, so a problem. People who don't have a healthy relationship with. One unhealthy relationship with food is that they never feel full. Never feel full. They're looking for something. They're looking for there's something of satiation. That they're just always that they just don't. There's never enough. It's never enough. There's always just something, a desire for more. Okay. Now for some reason I deal with this. This is really just my personal experience. I don't know if this is any reason for this, but on Pesach I deal with this. And on Pesach, for some reason, I feel that matzah doesn't fill me, and I'm constantly dealing with this struggle that well, I really should stop eating because I've eaten, and I don't feel this feeling of being satiated, but I know that I ate enough, so I should really just stop eating. Okay, so and I note with my like different years, I noticed with myself that this year I was hungry the whole Pesach. This year I was good. This year I was I didn't feel the need that I didn't feel that need to like whatever it was, the bread just tells me yes, you're satiated. So when I'm in tune with my needs, so then I don't need that I don't need to shut myself up. I'm able to tell myself, you ate enough, you don't need more. Because really this feeling of satiation is really it's really in your head. It's really in your head. It's like sometimes you can shut it up with a very satiating food, that you just feel this feeling of satiation. But the truth is that once you have your nutritional value, so then if you are mind over matter, then you will be able to say, okay, I'm saveh. Okay? The Torah always talks about sfia as something which is a dangerous thing. And the person feels like over full. The person's full, so then it says that the Torah says when you're going to get full and then you're going to just start kicking Hashem, you start saying that when a person's full, so you feel like I'm in control. Now I don't need anything. When a person is not a little bit not full, then you still feel the fact that I'm a needy person. When you think sometimes you eat so many hot dogs, you say I'm never going to eat a hot dog again. and so that it's a feeling of I don't need anything. I just want to never eat again. And it's a silly thought, because of course you need it. You're a human being. Because it's really unhealthy to think that I'm saveh. It's really unhealthy to think that I don't need anymore. Okay? So the problem that in the experience of eating has to do with sfia. Okay, the second thing is oneg. Okay, oneg is the tanug, the pleasure that we receive from eating. So Hashem wants us to enjoy food. Hashem wants us to enjoy food, and the fact that he when we make a bracha on trees in the month of Nisan, so we make a bracha that Shalach Hashem me'olamo klum, that blessed are you Hashem, that there's nothing missing in your world, the nasan bo ilanos tavos, the peros tavos ilanos tavos, and you put good fruits and good trees, lehanot v'hem b'nei adam, in order that we should enjoy them. Okay, it's clear that Judaism does not believe in being ascetic. The Judaism does not believe in precious. It doesn't believe as an ideal the person should try not to enjoy life. That it's very clear that the world was put here for us to enjoy. And Hashem wants us to enjoy life, and so this is a struggle. Some people that they just become so into the enjoyment of food, they become addicted to that enjoyment of food. Okay? And number 3 is the selection. Okay, this is there's something healthy, the fact that people want selection is a healthy thing, right? People like to have different things every day. Even if I have something that I objectively like more than the other thing, I'll sometimes want the thing that I objectively like less, just because I've already had enough of the thing that I like more. Okay, today I'm in the mood of the thing I like less, and that's part of the human experience, right? To have variety. Now, from a spiritual Kabbalistic perception, so this is obviously because everything in the world has a different energy and has a different thing that we're supposed to be taking from it, and so Hashem gives us this desire for variety, because He wants us to be able to get the energy from all the different parts, and so but sometimes you have a person that's obsessed with the desire for variety. Okay, these are people that they love going to new restaurants. They're always they need to constantly be be touring the world to figure out different cultures, and wow, like I've had Mexican cuisine, but I never had Italian cuisine, never had Chinese. What, you never had Chinese food? What? And so then they need to go to India, and they need to go to Africa, and they need to go to Antarctica, and I need to, I'm always curious what it really feels like to have that kind of cuisine and this kind of thing. And there's something messed up about a person with these this need for more and more variety. Okay? Interestingly, I was talking to this with a friend of mine, and when I mentioned these three things, he said, "Well, there's three mental disorders that are connected with these three parts of eating, and that OCD is a person that never feels a feeling of being settled, of having enough. And I never like normal healthy people. So then they wash their hands once, and then they've turned off that switch that says, yes, my hands are washed. And the person with OCD, so no, it's not. I didn't really wash it enough. He never feels satisfied. He never feels that I can close this chapter and move on to the next chapter. Okay, that's lack of sphere. Okay, lack of feeling that I need to force myself to satiate myself, because in my mind I can never feel satiated. And when it comes to pleasures, so a person that struggles with addictions means that I have a certain feeling of pleasure that I like, and it makes me feel good, and I need to constantly be triggering this pleasure, or else I just feel like I'm dead. Like I feel like I'm not there unless I have this extreme amount of pleasure, and variety. So he said that's connected to schizophrenia. a person that needs so much variety in their life that they feel like they're everywhere at the same time. That like different split personalities and such, that a person just can't be grounded at all. A person can't have that. This is my personality with these different parts of, I'm just completely scattered, completely scattered. Okay, that's the need for complete variety. That there isn't anything. There isn't this nun. There isn't this nun that's putting me together. So. So this is what l'ita. These are the three aspects of the experience of eating that the month of Shvat is inviting us to perfect. These three elements of the eating experience, which is really like everything in life is about this. It's about feeling satisfaction and feeling sfia, and because everything in life is I'm taking in everything. Eating is taking from the outside and bringing it inside of me. So in every experience, I'm eating up. I'm eating up all the experiences. Like you say about a cute kid, I can eat him up. That everything in life we're really eating. And are we ready to be satisfied? Are we ready? In everything that we do, do we have this place in our mind that we know how to eat properly? Do we know how to say, okay, I've had enough. I'm ready for the next thing. Okay, and when it comes to pleasure, when it comes to the pleasure of the experiences, so am I able to take the pleasure in the right way, in the way that it's going to be grounded, or do I become addicted to these pleasures? Do I become that I need to have this high adrenaline of this pleasure of the particular experience? And when it comes to variety, so am I looking for variety because I want to spread the kinds of things that I bring into my life, or is it because nothing is ever good enough? Because nothing is ever good enough. When a person can get obsessed with variety, not from the place that I want to become a broader person, but because nothing is really good enough. Everything is just invalid, and everything is just I need to just move on because. So, so you have this is the difference. There's people that they like everything, and then but they need variety, and there's people that they like nothing, so they need to just keep on switching, just keep it like in relationships, people that just have a list of just people that if you have too many you have too many failed relationships. So that means that you're looking for something that doesn't exist. Right? So this is the difference between variety in a healthy way and variety in a way that just nothing is really good enough. Okay? So these are the three aspects of le'ita. These are the three aspects of the eating, the experience of the eating, which is not connected to the digestive system, which is connected to becoming a part of me, but just the experience of taking in the world. Okay, so this is the energy, and now this is connected. This is connected to Tu B'Shvat. This is connected to the energy of a tree. Okay, because in AIDS, what's unique about an AIDS is that it takes a seed, and it brings from the seed like a whole long process of becoming from a seed into a tree, into a branch, into a fruit, and into the completion of the fruit. And this is expressed in the process of a tree. To take from the seed to grow this long process until it actually becomes a fruit. And that's why the word eitz is connected to the word eitzah. Eitzah in Hebrew means advice. Okay, so the advice is the seed of the action. Okay, meaning that the first step in any accomplishment is to have advice, to have the direction. And that's the chachma. That's the yud. The yud of the tzaddik is to be connected to the eitzah. Okay, you need to go to the tzaddik to get your eitzahs, to get your advice. Okay, and once I have the eitzah, then I want to produce him into a fruit. Okay, that's to be able to have this whole process of producing the fruits from the ideas, and this is connected to the Aquarius, because Aquarius is the water carrier, and so the Aquarius is the one that he's able to bring the water from the well of. There's a pasuk in Mishlei. It says. Eitzah amuka belev ish. There is a deep advice in the heart of a person. V'ish tvunot yidlena, and a wise man will be able to draw that water. Okay, so the pasuk in Mishlei refers specifically to the eitzah, to the advice, as something which needs to be drawn, like from a well. Okay, meaning that we have inside of us these deep ideas that need to be drawn out from the ish tfunot, from the tzaddik. Meaning that the tzaddik, he's the Aquarius, he's the water carrier, that he's the one who's drawing the water from the depths of our heart. He's the one who is inspiring us to be able to say, yeah, that's true. He's the one who hunts us. He's the one who inspires us to wake up inside of us these ideas of direction, these ideas of where we want to get. And he's able to draw it out. What's it mean to draw it out? He's the one who's able to convince us that we can do it. He's the one who's able to connect us to the nun, to bring from the start with the yud, and not just inspire us, but to be able to help us implement these ideas, be able to really bring out the best in ourselves, to be the best version of ourselves. Okay, so this is the idea of the Deli. This is the idea of the Aquarius. The Aquarius is the tzaddik. The Aquarius is the tzaddik. He's the one who gets things done. He's the one who's able to be the Mashiach, and this is really the energy of the month. To number one, be connected to the truths. To be connected to the deepest ideas in the depths of our heart, the deepest yuds inside of us, the deepest ideas, that the inspirations that are really, really deep down inside of us, and be able to connect that. The eitzahs, to bring them out from just being fading ideas into being actual real fruits. And when the fruits are connected to the eitzahs, that's when they're so tasty, that's when they're so beautiful. And this is what we're celebrating at Tu B'Shvat, that we're celebrating this process, the process of bringing from just the idea into the fruits. Now, I'll close with a very interesting idea from Chazal that in the creation of the trees, so there's an interesting discrepancy between what Hashem wanted the trees to do and what they actually did, and that is that he says that in the creation, he says that there should be an eitz pri oseh pri, that there should be a fruit tree which makes fruits, and in the creation it says that vayas Hashem, that vatotzei haaretz eitz oseh pri, a tree that makes fruit, but not a fruit tree. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Eitz pri. What does it mean? Eitz. So Chazal say that the original plan was that it should be the tam ha'etz katam ha'pri. That the taste of the tree would be the same taste as the fruit, and the trees didn't listen. They didn't listen. That they apparently thought that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work in this world if the taste of the tree is the same taste as the fruit. So it's eitz oseh pri, that the trees, they don't have the taste of the fruit, and you don't get the taste until the end. Okay, so what is this? What does it mean that the taste of the tree should be the same as the taste of the fruit? So we're saying that what does it mean, the tree? What does the tree represent? The tree represents the process from the idea until the actualization. Okay, so the original plan was that from the very beginning, from the time that you have a good idea, you're going to feel the taste of the sweetness of having the fruits, and you're going to the experience of the struggle, the experience of the breakthrough of making it from just being a little seed until you actually are a complete success. That you're going to taste the sweetness in the whole thing. That was the original plan. Okay, but if we would already taste if we would taste the fruits at the very beginning, so then just like nobody would, no, it wouldn't be any struggle. It wouldn't be any test. It wouldn't be worth anything. So the trees decided that they're going to make things a little bit more difficult, and the struggle is going to have a little bit of a tasteless point, that we're not going to really be able to appreciate the sweetness until we get to the end. And that's why it's about believing in the process. That the message of Shvat, the message of Tu B'Shvat is to know that to be a tzaddik, you need to have faith. You need to have faith in the process. You need to really trust the process, that on the way from the Yud to the Nun, on the way from the seed to the fruit, on the way from the advice until the finished product. So it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a journey. And it would have been nice if we would have been able to taste the sweetness at the very beginning, but that's not the way life is, and you have to really believe that the end is going to be very sweet, and that's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating on Tu B'Shvat. We're celebrating that if we keep our mind to it, if we believe in the process, we're going to have these very, very beautiful fruits, and it's really it's a time to really appreciate how diverse all the fruits are, and how that all these different chachmas, all these different advices, all these different wisdoms, that they can manifest themselves in different flavors, and there's so much room for diversity when we're all connected to the source, and that's what brings us to a sense of sova, a sense of true satiation, of satisfaction, of like knowing that everything is connected, knowing that you have this one thing, this tzaddik that's making everything, bringing the unity into the world, and that's ultimately what's truly what's the secret of all eating disorders is it's all in our heads. It's all in our relationship to what we want to get from this experience. And achila, it's not just about food, it's about everything we do in life. So I bless us all that we should really be able to have like a really grounded yud, a grounded connection to everything we do, to know that we're bringing this down from the highest place into the lowest place, and that's what's going to make life so much enjoyable. It's going to make life so much more satisfying. It's going to help us to appreciate the variety in life, and this is what's going to help ultimately to bring the tzaddik Yisod Olam, to bring the Mashiach, that Tzvi Latzadik B'tat Hashem. Okay,